Whew. Okay, let's get into this next story, which really is just talking specifically about a bunch of NFL stuff. So let's start off with what happened over the weekend first. Now, Jay, did we ever talk about Mina Kimes and Jeff Garcia? I don't remember.
No, because I don't think we got a chance to.
All right, we'll do it when we get to the second game. So the first game was the Bengals versus the Chiefs, and my boy Joe Burrow out here in these streets taking the goddamn Cincinnati Bengals to the Super Bowl in his sophomore campaign, coming off an ACL injury, man. Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon, that whole crew held in there. They were down 21-3 or 21-10, something like that at the half, and stormed back. Sorry, it's so gross. Stormed back, took him into OT, intercepted Patrick Mahomes in OT because they won the Chiefs won the coin toss.
Yep.
When I tell you how fucking upset that fucking stadium was.
Oh, first when they got the coin toss, because
They
everybody
were
just
losing their shit
because they were like it was
"It's
over
over."
because they had just won the week prior because of the coin toss in OT.
Oh, so you have all that. Thank you so much to Mikey BX for the subscription. We appreciate y'all. I promise you I'm gonna get them fucking. I need a minute, man.
Oh, okay. I
need
got
to
it
change
forward.
the liquors. I went with the single barrel fucking Jack. That shit was harsh.
Yeah, that shit is for sipping.
Oh,
that shit is not for shooting,
Jameson
bro.
in a minute, bro.
That shit is for sipping, not shooting.
Oh
my god.
Excuse me. So that was the first game. The second game was from the NFC, where the Rams ended up holding it down and preventing the 49ers from making a comeback. And this is why I bring up Jeff Garcia and Mina Kimes. So last week, Jeff Garcia's bitch ass, I swear we talked about this a little bit, where he would, because you read, I want to say you read his statement.
No, it might have been game time. It wasn't me.
Maybe it was game time, but he essentially was like, oh, who the fuck is Mina Kimes? I was someone that has never thrown a touchdown, no shit about football and anything else, blah, blah, blah. So here's the issue. One, Mina Kimes is one of the greatest sports journalists that TV and the world has seen. That's the first thing. The second of all, what she specifically said, Jay, I don't know if you heard, she was like, yo, Jimmy Garoppolo is like the dude on the group project that gets an A because everybody else got an A and he happened to be in the group. That's essentially what she said. And where's the lie? Deebo Samuel is a monster. Kittle's been playing his ass off. That Niners defense has been what has held them down. They stopped Aaron Rodgers and kept them to 10 fucking points. Like, it has been the Niners defense that has been doing this shit. Jimmy hasn't been just throwing bomb after bomb and fucking winning shit. And so guess what happens at the end of this game? The 49ers are down by 3 points against the Rams. Jimmy G gets the ball, and this motherfucker throws a goddamn interception. Boom, game
over.
After
Aaron Donald spun his ass around.
So threw a fucking ball, and there you go. So
Jimmy G did what Jimmy Garoppolo does. Like, we were in our group chat, somebody said this best. The Niners have a chance of winning as long as Jimmy Garoppolo does not throw a touchdown.
Right. And so the best thing ever, bro, the probably the funniest thing about it is the fact that you had so many people immediately like point out on Twitter, like, God damn, Mina Kimes out here embarrassing motherfuckers. And I gotta see if I can add it real fast, bro. She had one simple tweet in order to actually just respond to essentially all the bullshit that was happening. And all it was this simple shit right here. As soon as it loads in, she loaded up this tweet based off of Jeff Garcia running his motherfucking mouth and Jimmy G throwing that goddamn interception. And all she said was, that was the whole tweet, was the conceited gift, bro. And like, that's the whole thing. She still turned around and said, look, there's a number of teams that are looking for a good veteran quarterback. He would be good in Pittsburgh. He would be good in Miami. They brought up a bunch of teams where he actually would be an asset. And I honestly believe that Jimmy G is above mediocre. Like, he's on the upper echelon of quarterbacks in the NFL, not to the elite set. There's a bunch of quarterbacks better than him, but enough that if you plug him into another team, he actually makes them a threat all of a sudden.
Right.
Because I would actually say that Jimmy G played better this year when he was healthy than Ben Roethlisberger. Ben Roethlisberger was off that cliff.
By the way, Ben Roethlisberger has retired. Congratulations.
He officially retired. Well, it's funny that you bring that up because he wasn't the only one. So another big story in the NFL: Tom Brady is out. This motherfucker. He came through
Hold on,
finally.
wait. What you got to do?
Yeah.
No, you got to do it this way. So Tom Brady, where is it at? There it is.
Was there a photo? I didn't see the photo.
Tom Brady
I didn't
is
see
out.
it. There we go. If you just put it in order, my nigga, I would have known. Just numbers everywhere.
Yeah, you right. You right. Hey man, I was doing this last minute, nigga. This was a last minute thing. We were trying to get this shit in here, nigga.
So either way, it was really funny this weekend because Adam Schefter ran his mouth and it was like, sources say Tom Brady retiring. And so then all of a sudden, Tom Brady's company was like, thank you so much for everything, Tom. You the man. And everybody's like, oh. And then a couple hours later, Tom was like, nigga, I didn't say I was retired yet. What the fuck you talking about?
Tom Brady. Wait a minute, where is he? Because Tom Brady hit niggas with the whole. He was like, hold on, y'all. What the fuck is you talking about? Like, niggas was like, yo, I'm taking this shit day to day. And nigga said, it's like, I'm taking this shit day to day. Don't go ahead and jump this shit. And everybody was like, okay, so you not about to retire?
Well, no. Essentially, he saw the tweets about it, and Tom Brady was at home like,
nigga, what is you talking about?
That's what I was looking for.
That's what I was looking for. It's under the nigga section. You see with the ends.
Shout out to everybody watching Blurs in the Hood for the first time. Just realizing they got a section of niggas. Yeah.
Yes, we do. If you would like to see them all, we got
nigga.
Nope.
Nigga.
Nope. Don't do it. Continue on with the story.
Anyway, so a lot of speculation. Was he going to do it? Was he not going to do it? So then here comes Tom, and he says today he was doing everything, saying, I love it. In order to be successful, you got to be all in. It's difficult for me to write, but I'm ready to move on. And he said, you put that one in twice. He said everything to all the Bucks, staffers, and employees, to my team. Thank you so much. I think you had mentioned the team one a little bit higher up, and Bruce Arians, because I think you doubled up on the same.
Oh, that was my bad. They all look the same when you actually say.
He thanks Arians. He thanks the team. He thanks all the Bucks staffers and employees. He thanks his trainer, Alex Guerrero. He thanks Don Yee and Steve Dubin. I'm not sure who they are. I'm guessing maybe his reps. He also thanks his family, both extended, but then his immediate, his 4 kids and Giselle. I couldn't have done this without y'all. Thank you so much. What a lot of people notice, Tom Brady did not thank New England. Tom Brady did not thank Robert Kraft. Tom Brady did not thank Bill Belichick, bro. And people were on the internet like, damn, Brady, it's like that, my guy? You're like a scorned ex, my dude?
And look, it gets better, though, because he technically still never thanked them, right?
He sort of did.
No, because here's his thank you. Reposted the story that the Patriots put. Thank you, Patriots, Patriot Nation. Y'all, like he basically hit niggas with the, is you happy? Is you happy, Dad?
I think it was essentially because the Patriots and Kraft put this statement out about how important Tom has been to the Patriots, to the NFL, etc. And then he essentially hit a retweet like, thank you, Patriots. He sent it in his story. And I think it's just because he realized that people were like, bro, what is you doing, fam?
What is you doing, baby? What is you doing? Like, oh no, baby, no. Yes.
Now, this was also a breaking story as of today. Now, Brian Flores, for those that are unfamiliar, he is, I just realized I didn't have a photo of him.
He is the former head coach of the Miami Dolphins.
Now, of course.
It was a lot. Right. While you're putting it in, I'm just going to
do a screen share.
Okay, because I was just doing it. I didn't know. I just wanted to make sure.
Thank you.
Yeah,
for
those who don't know.
I appreciate it.
This is him
right here.
This is Brian Flores, former head coach of the Miami Dolphins. Now, it was controversial with his firing this season because the Dolphins had a winning record, basically.
That's not the only time. So here's the thing. Brian Flores was already interviewing for a number of other positions, including as the coach of the New York Giants. Mm-hmm. Well, Brian Flores got this text message from Bill Belichick, because the coaches have each other's number, and it says, like, sounds like you landed. Congrats. And Brian goes, did you hear something I didn't? He goes, Giants? And he goes, I interview on Thursday. I think I have a shot at it. And then Belichick goes, got it. I hear from Buffalo and New York Giants that you are their guy. Hope it works out if you want it too. And then he goes, that's definitely what I want. I hope you're right, Coach. Thank you. Coach, are you trying to talk to Brian Flores or Brian DeBall? Just making sure. And Belichick goes, Sorry, I fucked this up. I double checked and misread the text. I think they're naming the ball. I'm sorry about that, Bill Belichick. And then he goes, thanks, Bill. So then Brian said, fuck y'all crack ass crackers. And my guy is now officially suing the NFL and the New York Giants, alleging racism in hiring, which includes those texts you just saw from Belichick. He says that Stephen Ross, the owner of the Miami Dolphins, offered also to pay him $100,000 for every loss of the 2019 season to help the team get a better draft spot. And was mad that he kept winning. Flores' suit included texts from Belichick that appeared to show him congratulating him on a job, even though he was for Brian DeBall. This is before he even interviewed with them. So check this out. This is the deposition. He even put it at the start of another deposition, but the complaint that he's filing that says, sorry, I fucked up. I double checked and misread the text. I think they're naming Brian DeBall. I'm sorry for that. Again, this is before he got a chance to actually do
interview for the position.
Yeah, exactly. So let's go through just a couple of the highlights real quick. I'm not going to do every single one, but I want to read some of this out because it's fucking wild. So they say in the preliminary statement, as a class action complaint is filed on the first day of Black History Month, we honor the brave leaders that fought so hard to help break down the racial barriers of injustice. That honestly feels like a pastor starting off, bro. Like,
let me do it right. Let me do it right for you. As this class action complaint is filed on this first day of Black History Month, we honor the brave leaders that have fought so hard to break down the racial barriers of injustice. The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Harriet Tubman, Rosa Parks, Frederick Douglass, Jackie Robinson, and Mamie Till, just to name a few.
All right, that's all we need for that, because now we're just going to get to the nitty-gritty of this. So some of
the
stuff
Rooney Rule may have been...
Stop. The Rooney Rule may have been well-intentioned, although it's hard to attribute benevolence to the NFL, given the complete lack of action that it has taken post-Rooney Rule to remedy discrimination that admits it exists. However, well-intentioned or not, what is clear is that the Rooney Rule is not working. Jump ahead. On January 2022, Mr. Flores, who spent 3 years as the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, found himself without a job. He was fired by the Dolphins after leading the team to its first back-to-back winning season since 2003. Purported basis for his termination was alleged poor collaboration. In reality, the writing had been on the wall since Mr. Flores' first season as the head coach when he refused his owner's directive to tank for the first pick in the draft. Indeed, during the 2019 season, Stephen Ross, the owner of the Dolphins, told him that he would pay him $100,000. He'd pay him 100 G's if for every single loss. That's what's so fucked up about this. And the team's general manager said that Steve was mad that Mr. Flores' success in winning games that year was compromising the team's draft position. At the end of 2019, Ross began to pressure Flores to recruit a prominent quarterback in violation of league tampering rules. Flores reportedly refused to comply with these improper directives. Undeterred, in the winter of 2020, Mr. Ross invited Mr. Flores onto a yacht for lunch. Shortly after he arrived, Mr. Ross told Flores that the prominent quarterback was conveniently arriving at the marina. Obviously, Ross had attempted to set up a purported impromptu meeting with Flores and the prominent quarterback. Flores refused the meeting and left the yacht immediately. After the incident, Flores was treated with disdain and held out as someone who was non-compliant and difficult. From that point forward, he was ostracized and ultimately fired. And thus, last week, the defendant, the New York Football Giants, had an opportunity to move in the step in the right direction, if even only one. The Giants had a chance to hire Mr. Flores, an eminently qualified black man, to be the first black head coach of the Giants in nearly 100 years. Instead, the New York Giants made the decision to hire Brian DeBole and disclosed that decision to third parties during a time when the Giants were scheduled to still interview Mr. Flores, when Mr. Flores was deceptively led to believe he actually had a chance at the job. Thus, on Wednesday, January 26, 2022, Mr. Flores was forced to sit through a dinner with G.O.A.T, the general manager of the Giants, knowing that the Giants had already selected DeBole. Much worse, on Thursday the 27th, Mr. Flores had to give an extensive interview for a job that he already knew he's not getting, an interview that was held for no reason other than for the Giants to demonstrate falsely to the league commissioner, Roger Goodell, and the public at large they complied with the Rooney Rule. The Giants would likely have given away with this most insidious form of discrimination if the New England Patriots, they would have gotten away with it if not for New England Patriots head coach Bill Belichick, who mistakenly disclosed it to Flores in the text messages that I read at the start of this. So, Jay, just hearing all this, we obviously knew the Rooney Rule was a fucking joke, and that these owners do whatever the fuck they want. That they will hire whoever the fuck they want. It's the same thing that happened, honestly, with the Raiders and what's his fucking name that got fired. I already forgot Gruden. The fact that Gruden just got handed that motherfucking job, and we've already talked about how Bellamy. Now, I think that with Eric Bellamy is really that they're.
You mean Bieniemy?
Bieniemy. I'm so sorry, Eric Bieniemy. That he's supposed to really take over after Andy Reid. There's a lot of people are pointing to that, but people have been like, why has Eric Bieniemy not gotten another job? Where the fuck is Marvin Lewis? I know he didn't win a playoff game for them, but Marvin Lewis went to how many fucking playoffs with the Bengals and shit? Like, so many black coaches that deserve this opportunity that do not fucking get it. So knowing that Flores has put this out there, Jay, what is your thoughts, bro?
The Rooney, like you stated, the Rooney Rule has always been bullshit. The Rooney Rule is literally to say, see, we interviewed him. That is literally show what it says. And now there is more proof to show that you're interviewing people for a position you're not giving them. You're just doing it. You're just doing the facade. Again, you're making a person sit through a full extensive interview. You have to tell them your plans. You have to tell them, look, this is what my aspirations are, what I think we can do in draft picks, what I think we can do with our certain lines, and blah, 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 blah. All the while, when you're this team, you're never hiring this person. There has been literally discussions about why aren't there more black head coaches in this league? And they have been proven because everybody's like, oh, well, why shouldn't the person just be hired the best person for the job? Absolutely. I agree with that. But again,
you're not giving that opportunity for that to happen.
You're not giving that opportunity for that to happen.
When you are handing out jobs before you give the opportunity for someone to actually audition or interview for it, you are not hiring necessarily the best fucking person for the job.
It has been open. It has been open. Again, going solely to Eric Bieniemy. If he wants that position as the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs from when Andy Reid steps down, they are keeping it quiet. I mean, as far as him saying anything. But nonetheless, Eric Bieniemy should be interviewing with numerous. It has been stated through every sports podcast, sports television show, through various experts. Brian Flores, the man refused to be known as a losing coach because guess what makes it harder to get a head coaching job? If you're a losing coach. If you have a winning season, and you don't advance further.
Bro, how do you have back-to-back winning seasons and you get fired? We're not talking about like, like a situation where like, one of them was like kind of rough and then the other one, you know what I'm saying? Because on top of that, it honestly feels like if this motherfucker had I shouldn't even say that about Flores. Excuse me, Coach Flores. I didn't
sound like them shots that kicked in.
I'm a little drunk, Miss Flores. It happens. I'm saying you have this whole situation.
We got to do a third shot, by the way.
Yes, we do have to do a third shot. You have this whole situation where this man is doing what he has been hired to do: win fucking football games. And you fire him for doing that because you wanted to tank. Like, fuck you for that shit.
Bro, but it's the same thing in basketball. We keep hearing about coaches, coaches that are having bad records where they're being told to tell their players, tank the games, tank the season. And
here's my big thought on this, honestly. And I really hope this isn't the case, but let's just be honest. When you're in a position, when you have these people in this position of power, unless you really get them by the nuts, and I don't know how much, maybe they will. It sounds like Brian Flores' days coaching probably in both the NFL and even in college are over. But he did that. He essentially had to make a decision. Because think about it. The minute Kaepernick started stepping out and doing all this shit, if he had been quiet, if he had just shut up and played, he still would have been in the NFL in that regard, but he was causing too much of a stir. You just called out all of the NFL owners for their bullshit.
But here's where I have to respectfully disagree with that because of that.
Okay.
Kaepernick opened we talked about this, and we talk about this in many different situations. We just talked about it with the Spotify situation and Neil Young and what India R. said. Somebody has to be the first, right? Mm-hmm. Somebody has to take the stand-up is called taking the bullet, going first, right? Yeah. In an open mic. Somebody has to take that proverbial bullet.
Of course.
Colin took it. Now, I can almost guarantee you, if Brian Flores does not end up with a job in the NFL, there are colleges that are going to hire him.
But see, that's the thing. The NCAA, I think maybe in HBCU, someone mentioned that, but the NCAA, remember the NCAA, I know the HBCUs are technically a part of it, but the general, like NCAA, the Oregons, all that shit, they're of that random mindset of like, oh, you out here causing trouble, boy. Because like, again, this is fucked up to say, but black folks as athletes, as coaches, all that shit, we've just been given a little bit more of like room on the leash, because think about how they talk about us. Think about how they treat us. Think about what all Colin Kaepernick said was, I just wish the police would stop brutalizing us. Why people are like, boy, if you don't shut your ass up and throw that goddamn football.
Why are you so oppressed? Nigga, I never said I was oppressed. I just said I want the cops to stop shooting niggas like they playing Nintendo's Duck Hunt. Like that was all.
So I don't want this to happen to Brian Flores. I hope that he has a long, prosperous career because, as a head coach, because he proved that he's good at it. Who the fuck is on the Dolphins? I know there's a few Dolphins fans in here that probably get mad at me.
To a tongue-tied Levi, to a Polynesian dude.
Tua, I know, but Tua can't stay healthy, so I don't consider Tua good, because again, your best ability is your availability, and Tua's ass keeps getting hurt. So who the fuck is actually in Miami? What superstar can
Will
you
Smith?
make me?
He's going to Miami. Nah,
God damn it. My point is
Miami.
I just really am needing to see. I'm praying that he really gets another opportunity.
Hey, remember when the Nintendo Duck Hunt, when the dog would come up, you'd be like, when you miss the duck,
laugh at your ass. He'd be
like Blerds in the Hood every Tuesday and Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. All full episodes exclusively available on Twitch for the month of February. www.twitch.tv/BLERDS, the letter NTHEHOOD. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe.